And I start with this case presentation of a 60 years old housewife. She had pain in the left wrist for 4 to 5 years. She had visited many places, but somehow the pain could not be resolved. When she came to us, she told us that she has not slept at night for the last 3 to 4 years. The pain was so severe, especially at night. So X-rays were done, they were normal, but we went for MRI. So here my first message is, don't be shy to do sophisticated investigations. Because sometimes in our country, for the sake of economy, we are not doing these investigations and the patients are suffering. So this showed here a lesion. You can see that, and here. So most likely it was, the diagnosis was hemangioma by the radiologist, and this is our surgical dissection. It was a in continuity fusiform hemangioma, and that was resected. And the patient next day told us that she was able to sleep after so many years. So very quick recovery. Now, talking about the Guyon's canal, actually it was a urologist, Jean Casimir Felix Guyon, who described this canal in 1861. And there are 3 parts of the canal. It is between pisiform and the hamate, and the 3 parts are Guyon's canal typically between the pisiform and hamate, then is the pisohamate tunnel, and the last part is opponent's tunnel. So the nerve compression can take place in any 3 parts of this canal. So it has also been described as zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. So zone 1 is mainly when the compression is in the zone 1, it is superficial as well as the deep branches. And in the zone 2, it is basically deep branches of the ulnar nerve. And in zone 3, mainly superficial branches, but some element of abductor digiti minimi weakness can also be there. The common causes are, the commonest are space occupying lesion, like in our case. Then trauma can also be like the fracture of the hook of the hamate, and then the hematoma compressing on the nerve in the canal, or the part of the bone compressing on the nerve. Then overuse of the wrist, heavy gripping crutches, twisting and repeated hand and wrist motions, and also rarely calcific tendinopathy of flexor carpi ulnaris has been reported to cause compression. The symptoms are typically pain and paresthesias in ulnar 1.5 fingers, weakness of the grip, and in very severe cases, there may be ulnar claw hand. So this is like ulnar claw hand on the left side. So neurophysiology is useful. So I always go for nerve conduction study. And then if you have a good radiologist, or if you are yourself able to do it, dynamic ultrasound will be able to diagnose it, because in some cases, the accessory abducti digiti minimi muscle has also been reported to be a cause of this condition. I prefer always MRI, and mostly it diagnoses, except in cases where there is dynamic imaging required. So this is the same case where you can see ganglion in the ultrasound and in the MRI. So both are good, but ultrasound is more, subjective, and MRI, it's universally objective. So this is one of our cases. He came with, he's an advocate, fracture of the hamate, and He was being treated non-operatively, but at 6 weeks after the plaster, he came to us with the symptoms of Guyon's Canal syndrome, and at that stage, we did open reduction on the right side after the open reduction, and we decompressed the canal. This is another patient of ours, because cricket is like a religion in our country, and so is in Australia also. So he was having a wrong grip, and then because of the repeated movements, he was getting the symptoms. So when he came to us, I called the coach, and they changed the grip of the bat, and the symptoms they resolved. This is another case from the literature where, the dog bite resulted in epidermis inclusion, which ultimately developed a cyst and was a cause of this compression neuropathy. So most of the cases in the literature, they are due to space occupying lesions, as I mentioned. So the treatment is you decompress and remove the space occupying lesion. So another case is like tortuous ulnar artery. You can see here that this is the nerve, and the artery is the pulsations they were compressing over the nerve. So again you decompress it. That is what I was talking, acute calcific tendinitis of flexor carpi ulnaris can be a cause. Again you need a decompression. So this is again from the literature, handlebar palsy, the people, the cyclists, they are continuously for long, they are using this grip, and this can be a cause. So treatment, if it is a occupational or repetitive cause, conservative, you advise the patient for change of the grip or change of the repetitive movement, and if it is a space occupying lesion, then is the surgery. It's a rare condition. I would say it's not that rare, but we miss the diagnosis most of the times. And history and clinical examination are very important. Then you can take the help of the electrophysiology, imaging, like ultrasound and MRI, and you treat it either non-operatively or operatively. Thank you. So I was in Adelaide for a long time. So these are the pictures from Adelaide.
Nice talk.